There's a red car that just pulled out from the opposite side of the road that is now 2 cars behind me, following me, with a handicap badge in its rearview mirror.
Pull over, it's a little pull out down here.
I'm cool.
Huh?
I'm good. One of the things that happens is I get sandwiched in between the cars. So there'll be one that slows down, and then the one behind me speeds up and tailgates me, and then there'll be...
Pull over here when people are tailgating.
I'm not being tailgated right now. But that's what they'll do to just create pressure. The whole thing's just to create the pressure.
Did you bring the camera charger with you? Keep it charging in the car if you want.
Battery goes for 12 hours.
Oh,
I've got it all under control, Liz.
maybe you could pull over and put them on.
I've got it all under control. The license plate on this car is C. Well, they'll speed up, so it's okay. There'll be more.
Why do you think that one was following you?
I watched him pull into the opposite side of the road, which is illegal, and park at that same spot, and then wait until I pulled out. And then as soon as I pulled out, he got behind that other car. I had to go through all this when the guy who kidnapped the kid, we had to go through all this before, and I was lucky enough that Josh pulled up and we did a U-turn and we got his license plate, and then I went and I talked to the sheriff, and then the sheriff wouldn't cooperate and he sent me to the police. So then I got to explain everything to the police, and they connected that I knew Lydia from when I was working in AmeriCorps, and then they shook my hand and they called and they recorded the whole thing when I was speaking with them on a thing just like this. And so they actually filed the thing, but the guy was already pretty much out of Forks. So the license plate, see this car over here too doing the weird thing? So take a look at that. CUJ1097 Toyota Camry. Let's see how many times I get followed on this trip. Now turning left after I mean, it happens all day, every day.
Just looks like people driving to me.
So I packed up all my stuff and headed home. Since I've had the camera, it's not been as bad. When I show the stuff, they disappear. So look at this car. This is maybe 8 miles south of Forks. And now I am in the town of Forks. And look it's the exact same car. The person rolled down their window about 6 inches, saw them, and I feel that that's to intimidate. But yeah, they passed me when I got into Forks, took the back roads, and then cut to the side, which is a common turn there. My mentor, I got to talk to yesterday, and he was explaining gentle. And I must say, yeah, that's where I'm at. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. Just kind of realigning the chakras to get the biofield going. Again, big, huge happenings or frequencies. And when I'm in those really dense areas, I get, I'd say 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. It's a great place to practice holding your biofields. But I'll tell you, the gang stalking stuff's crazy because you start to think you're losing your mind. But it kind of brings you back to realizing that you never lost your mind. You just don't fit into that. You don't resonate in fear. And so it brings the fear back into you, and you just become aware that, man, that's something you don't really need. There's a lot of fear that I have when I'm in the hospital, doctor environment, because all the stuff I've tried to fix there, well, it's actually made everything more difficult, where if I had maybe just trusted my gut and not listened to external things, I wouldn't have ever had the first hernia surgery. And it's like once they kind of get their claws in you, it's over. And yeah, so I'm just at this point where I'm getting to spend the time out here, but not push myself anymore because I'm slowing down. But that's okay because I have everything I need. I'm breathing. There's food that's coming back. I've learned a lot about permaculture and growing stuff, and now I'm learning tons about all the medicinal stuff that's here, and the huckleberries, and just how to preserve it like the old way. And it's become the exact opposite of what I grew up in. So it's neat to see both ends of the spectrum and realize that the sounds of the ocean and the water moving and the soil, and it's where I truly need to be at this point. But I have so many fears about sharing because of I'm still in a massively lack-based frequency, even though I know I have everything. And from just walking straight into the woods, when I first came out here, it was just trees. And I've been able to create an environment that is going to help everything rejuvenate itself here. They did the Murder of the Forest in 1939, or somewhere around then, and so there's still some super old growth trees out here, and you get to see what it looked like before. And in my lifetime, it's not going to look like that, but I'm going to be able to open up space because all of these little tiny trees that they planted when they were farming, and some of the second growth, it's really neat to just see how it works. And with whatever's going on now with the stuff in the air, and it's like the mycelium even kind of is different, and there's nothing you can do about the external stuff I'm learning. So how lucky am I to even just have this, that I can go out and touch this stuff. And it's helping me get over my fears big time. And I've been really lucky. I finally have the tools that I need to survive out here and thrive out here for the rest of my life. And so much has happened leading up to this that I'm also at this point that this is just the bonus rounds. And I'm conscious that I don't really need to go back on grid and go spend time around, these frequencies that are really difficult. I've learned that maybe I can start to use these online communities, even if the people aren't real, even if it's AI. It's inspiring me, and it's teaching me these different things, like what I've learned from Bucking. It's huge, because now I'm not scared to fall these trees, which are going to open up more light, and that'll help the huckleberries and everything else. But it's been a trip. All my bird friends aren't really out here right now. I don't know what's going on. There's just kind of a weird energy and shift as the season's changing. It's like we're just starting to get winter out here, and it's March, or almost March. But yeah, I guess what I'm doing is grounding. My friend Pat, he helped me out a lot to see, what trip I was on. But I've also had to just kind of remove myself from a lot of friends that I've had for a long, long time. And there's nothing personal. It's just you accept that you're resonating with different things. And for myself, what I've been using is trying not to judge anybody, because that's one of my worst things. Is I've been in fight or flight my whole life, and so there's a lot of judgment to just try to stay safe. And it's neat because I definitely feel like there's seraphim angels or guardian angels or certain people that are walking me through this, to be able to show my light to the world. Not for any kind of, I don't want any credit for it. And that was maybe what put me on this journey out here, was I needed to be able to step away from all the distractions, to nurture that little kid in me that was abused and beat up, and even, it's hard to talk about it, but came back to the realization that, there was even some big time issues with the daycare that I went to across the street, and being around a lot of perverts when I was a kid, and a lot of those memories are coming back. Sick stuff that happened to me, and the people in my neighborhood, the kids in my neighborhood. And it makes me wonder what they did to Daniel, because my memories are coming back, and you can see those people are sick. They look sick now. And it's neat that all this stuff's coming out in the mainstream, so maybe people can start to understand. Like, I couldn't have tomato sauce as a kid, or even drink red Kool-Aid, or tomato juice, or anything, because of whatever I was put through. And the neighbors, my parents were always gone. I'm basically latchkey kid, raised my sister. So you would trust these people, but I'm having lots of memories coming back. And like, the neighbor lady ran a daycare, and yeah, we were forced to watch certain movies, like the Boogeyman movie that came out in 1980. I remember seeing that as a little kid. probably one of the first movies I ever saw, and like that was after certain things had happened, and was forced to take baths with the neighbor girl. All these things, and the grandpa would come in and he'd cut the squeaky hair, and it's fucking sickening. And I can see that my mission in life is and always will be to nurture the people that have gone through the same thing, and I just didn't even know. The one daycare that we went to was called House at Pooh Corner, and they would put us in this room. I remember all these pillows and like teddy bears and shit, and being forced to like kiss these girls and all this stuff as these people would watch. And I also remember, certain things that the neighbors would do. And there's a photo of me as a kid in a dress. And you start to go back and you wonder, oh, but if your memories connect, and now you see what's going on, you get to understand, like, oh man, we went through some shit in the 80s, and when you ask the questions about it, the reactions have been showing me, like, it's time to surround myself with different people and remove myself from my family as much as I continue to go back and try and help. It's literally taking years off my life and keeping me away from this, which is where I feel it. I resonate with this. I don't resonate with suburban tract homes, and so I'm gonna try my best through this process to talk about the things that are uplifting me. And you need to see the dark shit to balance out the light. I'm finally understanding that if you suppress all that, you're never gonna get through it. So I'm back at that state again where I'm just can't place judgment on other people because I don't know what they experienced. And that's what I'm starting to see from my family, is that it just went down the line, and that I was maybe put here to break the cycle. It's probably a huge reason why I'm out here, and why I've been able to help people by just being honest, brutally honest, because shit, I remember what it felt like to lie when I was a kid, and I've gone back and just really seen you don't get anything out of that. And you're going to resonate with other people that speak truth if you're speaking truth. Because it is some form of a mirror, it seems like, or something pretty crazy. But yeah, I'm going to have to get into the salmon berries, and I'm going to start trimming these things up. And just really learning how to use all the stuff that's already here instead of planting a bunch of other shit. The cabbage is huge though because of the fermenting, and yeah, good stuff all the way around.